Hello, it is Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday puzzle today, which means a midweek, mid-difficulty solve, and it will have a theme, of course. So this midweek, mid-difficulty edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Kathleen Quinn, Quotidiophile, Overfall Hitbox, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel, keeping this whole thing going. I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like, and thank you to all of my patrons, all of whom I appreciate. And if you'd like to become one, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the link in the description field underneath the video. And you can become a benefactor and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, or a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And that includes yesterday one of the new acrostic puzzles from my sort of last-minute frantic solve of the remaining unsolved acrostic puzzles from 2022. So that's up there now, and I've scheduled 2 more to go up each of the next 2 Tuesdays. I think I still have another 1 or 2 after that, so I'll probably continue to put them up every Tuesday after that. But yes, 2 more going up on Tuesdays. So do enjoy that, as well as the one that went up yesterday. And thank you to everybody who is a patron and who's entitled to those videos. Again, I really do appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel. Please do that as well if you've not yet subscribed to the channel. If you'd like to support this channel in an easy but effective way, click the subscribe button. And finally, you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server, and a link in the description field underneath the video as well. All right, so let's get on to today's puzzle. Oops, sorry, 1 second. I just need to pause the video for a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, I just had a brief interruption. I had just learned that OBS, which is the recording software I use, has a real-time pause button. I had no idea. I always end up having to edit that out later, so that's useful to know when something unavoidable arises. In any case, let's get on to the puzzle. This is a Wednesday crossword, as noted, by Michael B. Berg. This is a debut construction for Michael B. Berg, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. All right, I don't see any evidence of the theme just yet, so we'll have to find out what that is in the grid. Many a rescue. A dog or a cat, maybe? I'm wondering if it means, or sometimes you refer to a rescue animal as a rescue, but I'm not sure. Maybe a mutt or something. Bit of wisdom. An adage, maybe? As in oral wisdom passed down. Let's see. Insert a token, say. Site at Rocky Mountain National Park. I know this doesn't look very... An axiom, maybe? I don't know. I'm sort of taking random stabs. Playful sound while tapping someone's nose. You might say boop while tapping someone's nose. That looks right. And rice option. Brown rice is too short. Basmati rice is actually the rice I most frequently make. Element of Indian cuisine. So atmospheric glow could be an aura. And unobtainable is... Something's unobtainable. It's... out something? Symbol seen on more than 30% of the world's flags. A star. That's pretty interesting. That stands to reason, but it's still quite... I'm still sort of surprised it's that high. That's very interesting. Oral motor skills, baby's development using to learn use their sort of vocal facilities. And trim could be to pair, fruit or vegetable, for instance. Whack-a-mole is a kind of carnival-style game, I suppose. And unobtainable, it's out of stock, maybe? It's unobtainable within a store. Rice option, rice pilaf. Here in the UK, tends to be rice pilau with a U there, but not in the New York Times. Common rice sort of side dish. And captained, a ship could be led, the ship, for instance, or something else metaphorically. Dora the Explorer's cousin, I don't know. Is there a character named Ditto? That seems like a Name of a character in a children's series, maybe. Shapes up. Oh, and this is italicized, so this is thematic. This was a part of our theme. I don't yet know in what way. What about this one? Goes by foot informally. Legs it, maybe? Shapes up. Don't know. Let's check the crosses on legs it. Person you might see in August. I think this is probably the name Gus, which is, we can see, actually contained within the word August. So it's a person or a person's name that we are literally seeing within the word August. And excited, if you're excited, you're agog, maybe? Sort of visibly astonished? I don't know if that's right. Buildup of tanks. Oh, maybe it is, because buildup of tanks in a fish tank, in a sort of aquarium, you could have a buildup of algae. There we go. And the question mark there lets us know that the clue is a bit punny. So we're looking for something a bit clever. Accumulated as charges, you ran up charges, accumulated them. And site at Rocky Mountain National Park. I suspect this is an elk. That seems like a sort of animal that we would be looking for here. And a bit of wisdom is a pearl of wisdom, so I was on the wrong track entirely before. To insert a token, say, could be to pay a parking meter, for instance, or an arcade machine or something. Barrel of monkeys. It looks like it's Donkey Kong. Why is that true? So actually, speaking of paying an arcade machine, in the early Nintendo arcade game Donkey Kong, doesn't Donkey Kong, the antagonist, he throws barrels, I think, that you have to dodge as the player? Barrel of monkeys, Donkey Kong. Why is that? How does that exactly match up? I'm not quite sure I understand. So apologies if you're jumping right to the correct interpretation of that. Skirt covering the knees could be a midi skirt. That's a particular length of skirt. And noodles often served in broth could be udon noodles in Japanese cuisine. To oversee as a flock, you could tend a flock of sheep, for instance, as a shepherd. And many a rescue as a mutt. Right, okay, that's one of my guesses. So I see, if she adopts the mutt, she takes it in. There we go. Nice little echo there. And a brainchild could be an idea, the brainchild of the brainstorming session, or the people in it, I guess. And a catalog could be an index of items. CTO or CFO, each of those is an executive within a corporation. And even though there are two examples, CTO and CFO, they're separated by an or, so we're only referring to either one of them, which means this is a singular answer. So just keep that sort of thing in mind. Word after high or seven, high C's or seven C's. Both phrases to refer to pretty similar concepts. And paper pushers. Oh, ATMs maybe? Paper in the sense of cash, banknotes, maybe. And an ATM literally pushes them out of the machine, an automated teller machine. I wonder if that's what this is. It seems like it fits. They can be parting. You could leave a parting shot, a sort of witty barb as you turn to leave, maybe a parting shot. With 50 across, blue streak. And 50 across just says C28 across. I don't know. Shapes up. Oh, Tetris? Shapes are sort of going down in Tetris. What is the... Oh, is it backwards? No. Because I was going to say monkey of barrels could be Donkey Kong, but that doesn't really work here. Up shapes down? I don't know. What is going on? I don't quite understand. Something's unobtainable. It's out of reach. There we go. And Dora the Explorer's cousin, I'm still not sure about this. Home with a dome could be an igloo. Oh, Diego. I think I've heard or seen that name associated with Dora the Explorer, so I think that's right. Giant head. I'm not sure. And Landon, who lost in a landslide to FDR. Is it Alf Landon to Franklin D. Roosevelt? Giant head. And voter on a failed 2014 independence referendum. This was the Scottish independence referendum, which voted in favor of remaining within the United Kingdom. Giant head. I just don't see what this is. Apologies. Playoff ranking. Don't know. I'm running out of steam with these answers in the sort of vertical middle of the grid. Barrier in certain zoo enclosures. A barrier. A moat. Some zoos have moats, actually. Or some zoo, enclosures, areas of particular animals. Messed with someone or something, you toyed with them or it. And leather band used to sharpen razors. You use a leather strop to sharpen razors. Well, I don't, but somebody might. Mostly harmless place per the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Earth, I think, was described as mostly harmless, including in the title of one of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy novels by Douglas Adams, which I very much loved when I was young. I mean, I'm sure I still would, but I haven't read them since I was young. All right, with 50 across, blue streak. I still don't... Oh, because it ends with the, I see. A blue streak, but I still don't really understand how the theme works, unfortunately. An eye affliction is a sty, so that works. And spa treatment, informally, a pedicure. And the informally just lets us know it's a shortened version of the clue. Well, shortened or otherwise informal. So something... Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog? These are all video games. I didn't even make the connection between Donkey Kong and Tetris. So blue streak. So Sonic the Hedgehog, his sort of power is that he's incredibly fast. So he's sort of a blue streak, I guess, due to his speed. So why is this shapes up? And why is this barrel of monkeys? I don't quite understand. Maybe the revealer will explain exactly what's going on. Giant head. Oh, soft G. It's the head of the word giant. The beginning of the word giant is a soft G as opposed to a hard G like giant. So there we go. Okay. Soft G is in GIF. Black inverse. Jet, ebon. I'm trying to think of synonyms for black, and I can't think of one in 4 letters that ends with T. Oh, that's annoying. Onyx. Yeah, I can't think of this one. Sting operation, e.g. Not sure. Could be sting meaning, well, the most obvious meaning a sort of raid, or it could mean sting as in a bee sting, or it could mean sting as in the musician, and I don't know. None of them are as obvious to me. A Promised Land author, 2020. I think that was Obama's memoir. Or was it? Maybe it was Michelle. Which Obama? Maybe it was Michelle Obama. I can't remember. In any case, black in verse. Oh, maybe it is Eben. Adopts, takes in. I think I said takes in, and then I spelled takes it. Whoops. I have to watch out for that. So this is Eben, which was one of the sort of poetic ways of referring to black that is relatively common. So there we go. And sting operation, still not sure. Bit of ink could be a dab of ink or a school with campus. Oh, a tat maybe. A bit of ink in an idiomatic sense. Tattoos referred to as ink. There we go. I think that's right. School with campuses in Amherst and Lowell. It'll be University of something. University of Massachusetts, maybe? Amherst, Massachusetts, Lowell, Massachusetts. I think those are both places in Massachusetts. So probably UMass. And a sting operation, oh, could be a setup. I see. Yes, the police could conduct a sting operation, which is a setup intended to sort of catch a target. Okay, Ghost in the Machine. This will be Pac-Man, the ghost in the arcade machine. So some of these make sense to me. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog and Pac-Man. I sort of understand each clue. I'm probably being very, very ignorant with the other. I just cannot think what the exactly how to parse the others. No way, not a chance, you might exclaim. And if something burns like embers, it smolders. So burn like embers, smolder. Partner of dreams, hopes and dreams. So partner just in the sense of a common idiom. The two words go together, they're partners. A chump is a sap, someone who's gullible. And one side of the Hoover Dam. Why can't I think? Florida Politico Demings. Oh, I don't know this either. Blue-green shade is teal. Walked on is trod on. To rip is to rend and tear. Tiny informally is eeny, as in eensy, kind of tiny little. I think that's right. Start of a fairy tale, yes. Once as in once upon a time. Batik worker, so that's a fabric, so it's someone who dyes the fabric, a dyer. And orientation initials. Not sure what's going on with that. It takes up about a third of our planet's mass. That's interesting, but I don't know what the answer is. Blank mode, no capes advocate in The Incredibles. That's Edna mode, the costume designer who I think was directly inspired by Edith Head, the famous Hollywood costume designer. Toodles, but more formally. Adieu, probably? I think that's probably the case of sort of way to say goodbye in I guess a kind of setting in which you know the person well, but this is more formal than that. And then it makes up about a third of our planet's mass. What is it? I don't know. Oh, that's frustrating. An operator is a user of a system, for instance, and shred the blank, skiing slang for conquering difficult terrain. I'm not sure about this either, unfortunately. Playoff ranking. Oh, I'm just running out of steam here. Life or death could be dire. A dire situation could be a life or death situation. And to get as a quick lunch is to grab a quick lunch. Playoff ranking. Oh, seeding? How you're seated? I don't know if seeding is really a word. Knock me down with a feather. Angry Birds? I'm just guessing this based on BDZs. I guess birds have feathers. Oh, and you knock. Right. Isn't Angry Birds you knock things down with the birds? I think that's right. So that one makes sense. Why are there two? I don't understand. I'm very, very frustrated at myself for that. Oh, iron must make up a third of our planet's mass. Wow, that is fascinating. I would not have guessed that. What the fourth little piggy? The fourth little piggy had none in the children's sort of nursery rhyme where you count on toes. So this is, playoff ranking is seeding, okay. And shred the gnar, skiing slang for conquering difficult terrain. Okay, it's new to me. I guess that's related to the word gnarly. And huzzah is yay or yay, probably in this manner, the celebratory version. Like many theater camp productions. Artsy, maybe? I'm just wondering what it would be in 5 letters with a Y. B and O and others. Well, famously from the Monopoly board, B&O is a railroad. And so B&O is a railroad, and then with others, it's plural railroads. Orientation initials. Still not sure what that is. And, oh, actress Messing, right. I know this from the other day in the crossword, Deborah Messing. It's helpful. Oh, orientation initials as in sexual orientation. LGBT, right, okay. So obviously, I think as intended, I read orientation as sort of physical orientation and visual orientation, that sort of thing. It's a clever bit of misdirection. And I didn't see this clue before. If you're more even-keeled, you're saner. Oh, Nevada, the Hoover Dam, of course. Sorry about that. And then Florida Politico Demings, Val Demings. Okay, I actually don't know that I remember that this rings a bell. So again, 2 U.S. Proper noun clues there, just as we had yesterday, I think. And there we go. So we don't have a revealer, I don't think, anywhere in the puzzle. So I just need to figure out why I can't interpret these clues properly. Barrel of monkeys. I don't know. Are there monkeys inside a barrel in Donkey Kong? I just remember Donkey Kong throwing a barrel at you. Or sort of not throwing it at you directly, but throwing it around and then it couldn't hit you. I guess that's just generally what it means. And then Tetris shapes up. The shapes are, I don't know, they're going down. They're coming from upwards on the screen. I just don't exactly understand how to read these. I'm very sorry. I'm not going to keep flailing around with them forever because it's pointless, but I will look at the others briefly to review the theme. So with 50 across blue streak, Sonic the Hedgehog, who travels so quickly he appears to be a streak of blue. We have Pac-Man, the ghost in the machine. So Pac-Man has 4 enemies, which are, you could say they're sort of in the arcade machine. They're ghosts. And finally, Knock Me Down with a Feather refers to angry birds because you, I think, launch birds to knock things down, and birds are feathered. So those all make sense to me. And of course, each of these is its own English language idiom. Barrel of monkeys, blue streak, shapes up, ghost in the machine, and knock me down with a feather. So there we go. I assume these are all very clever, and for some reason, 2 of them are just beyond my mental grasp in the details. But yes, there we go. A theme that will probably be extremely solvable for some people and elude others even to an even greater degree than it did me. I'll be curious to hear about people's experiences with this one. I suppose these are all, I think Angry Birds is the only one of these games that would have debuted any later than about 1990 or something. I think Sonic the Hedgehog would be the second newest of these, which is really saying something. These games are all decades old. Even Angry Birds is probably actually decades old at this point, or at least a decade old, certainly a decade old. So that's really something. In any case, that was it. That was the Crossword by Michael Berg, a debut construction for Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. I apologize to him for not fully linguistically parsing every one of these properly. Sorry about that. And I apologize to myself as well and to you, the viewers. Now, let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle, because I did note down, I think, 3 of those, or maybe 4. No. Oh, did I not take them down? Yes, I did. Okay, great. So Chasmart Designs points out, this isn't a correction, but it's an interesting note of which I was unaware. The phrases Sweet 16, Elite 8, and Final 4 are all trademarked phrases by the NCAA. So particularly Sweet 16 and Elite 8, I think I mentioned yesterday, they felt particularly related to that tournament, and it turns out it's because they are indeed trademark phrases, so that's interesting. George Steele reminds me that highlight players use a cesta to catch and throw the ball. So that's that sort of curved basket glove thing that highlight players use. I think I maybe misremembered it as ending with ESKA, but it indeed ends with ESTA. Oh, and that's all I had. Finally, Stephen Giblin points out regarding the 56 across clue referring to a Canon competitor, which was Ricoh. Ricoh and Canon are competitors in the printer market, not the camera market. So there we go. Canon does make cameras as well, of course, but I misremembered Ricoh as being another camera manufacturer. It is a printer manufacturer. So there we go. And that's all I have. So thank you as always, to everybody who left useful comments explaining things to me. And thank you to you for watching till the end of the video. I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday crossword, which will be another themed puzzle with a particularly involved or interesting or intricate theme. So do look forward to that. I'll be back then, and hope you will as well. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.